Good evening from the garden. It's the 25th of May and today I want to take you on a tour of our kitchen garden and show you what's working, what's not working, what plants are doing well and what plants are not doing so well. There's a party going on the campus, university campus nearby, so you may be able to hear some music, then you know where it's coming from. We have 12 large raised beds and 4 small ones, so I want to take you from bed to bed and show you what we're growing in each of them. In this one we have some biennial flowers, Sweet Williams, which is one of my favorites. It has a delicious scent and it's edible too, but I mostly grow it for bouquets. And here, this is overwintered parsley, which is flowering now, almost flowering, and I like to let it self-seed because it does really well as self-soil. And in front here we have 4 tomatoes plants, and these are very early bush varieties. 2 are Ida Gold, which so far has been the earliest fruiting variety for us, but I got seeds from the seed company to try of another variety, and that one's called number 42, and you can see that it's already got little fruits, so that might be the earliest tomato ever for us. And I covered the soil with biodegradable foil. It's black, so it keeps the soil warm, which is also good for tomatoes. And very early bush varieties are the only tomatoes that we can grow outside with some success, because here in our rainy climate, blight is always a problem. In the second bed here we have early potatoes. It's a variety called Annabelle, and they were chitted and planted somewhere in March, and I protected them with fleece and straw, but then we had some heavy frosts in April and they got damaged even though they were covered. So they're not doing so great yet. I hope they will recover and we will get some good harvest anyway. This third bed is planted or created around the very popular Dutch dish stampot, which is potato mash with greens, and the Dutch put all kinds of greens in it, so I thought I would grow them in one bed. I have spinach over here, and I have onions and carrots and rocket and leaf mustard. The rocket and leaf mustard are flowering. The flowers are still delicious, but I will be taking them out and putting some other leafy vegetable in. And what's interesting here is we had quite a lot of slug damage in the beginning of the season, so I put spent coffee grounds around the carrots, and around the first row I put cocoa shells, and it seems that the coffee grounds are working better. They stop the slugs from eating our carrots and the carrots are doing well now. This bed was mulched with spent mushroom compost, and so far there's only 1 mushroom growing in there, but soon I will be planting some warm loving vegetables that I pre-sowed at home. In this bed I planted spring garlic and it's not doing well at all. It got rust just like from the beginning and the plants never really grew well. So I'll be taking it out and planting something else and hoping that the rust will not affect the leeks that I'm growing at that I sowed over there. It's my seed bed for leeks, and I will be planting that in the broad beans after I have harvested them. So I started taking the leeks, the garlic out, and I already planted some basil in the front of the bed. This bed so far is my favorite, I think. It has been mulched with municipal green waste compost, and I put in different varieties of chard, different varieties of lettuce and nasturtiums, so I think it will be really pretty when they get growing. It has been planted just about a week ago, so it will only get better and prettier. And behind those I have planted some pre-sowed beans, bush beans and zinnias, so lots of things in one bed. This bed was mulched with our homemade compost, 2 wheelbarrows in a bed. But because I know there are lots of weed seeds in the compost, I immediately covered it with old straw to prevent them from growing, from germinating. And we just put this support in today, and I'll be growing cucumbers and gherkins here. I put in the first gherkin plant here, and I'll be planting the rest this week probably. The polyculture bed, if you saw my update 3 weeks ago, then you saw that we were harvesting lots of leaf mustard primarily, and that is mostly gone now. So what we're picking at this point is mostly different varieties of lettuce, and the polyculture is doing really well. It's been extremely productive. We have picked over 5 kilos from it, more than 10 pounds, and we've been giving greens away because it's just too much for our family of 4, even though we eat salad about every day. Here are my broad beans, 2 varieties that you maybe saw me planting if you watched the March video, and they had a lot of slug damage in the beginning because I mulched them with straw, spent hay, old hay, which encourages slugs, but they grew out of it, they're doing fine. So and because the bed is mulched, we don't have to water them quite as much. In front there are some turnips and some radishes. We had a nice harvest of radishes, but now they're bolting because it's gotten warmer. This is another themed polyculture in a bed that was mulched with mushroom compost, and the theme here is Mexico, Mexican vegetables. They're not easy to grow in our climate, so I'm quite limited in what I can grow, but I have some corn here. I want to plant beans that can grow and use the corn as support. I have tomatillos and red peppers, zinnias, and I also planted some sunflowers, but these will have to recover. I hope they recover. They were planted today and it was really hot, so not the best circumstances for planting things. In this bed I have 2 varieties of sugar snap peas. This one is called Opal Creek and the one in front is Sugary, and perhaps you can see the difference. They were sown at the same time, planted at the same time, and yet the Opal Creek is doing really well, and Sugary not as much. They're recovering now, so I hope we'll get some harvest, but this one is very dependable, the Opal Creek. It has always done really well for us, and it's a yellow potted variety, which has another advantage. The pods are really easy to see, so you don't forget to pick them. And at the front of the bed I planted some spinach to use the space effectively, but it's beginning to bolt now, so I will be harvesting the rest this week, I think. And at the back of the bed I have different varieties of lettuce and broccoli plants, and because the broccoli is being eaten by pigeons, I put on this improvised cage to protect the plants. This is our strawberry bed, and I have never before had a strawberry bed that would be doing so well. I'm really excited because we have never had a huge strawberry harvest, but this year I'm full of hope. There are lots of flowers and lots of fruits already. We'll just have to put a net over them to protect them from birds. This is one of our small beds, and this one is growing potatoes. This is a variety called Violette Noire with purple spots, and these were planted a couple of weeks later than the potatoes I showed you before, which is why they escaped the frost, and they are doing so much better than the ones that we planted earlier. In this bed I grew wallflowers, mainly for bouquets, but it was supposed to be a mix of colors, and the only color I got was this hideous yellow, so I'm not very fond of that one. I will try to find another shade for next year, because I like wallflowers. They're beautifully scented and you can pick them together with tulips for bouquets, but this has not worked so well. In front I have Kohlrabi, which is one of my favorite vegetables. And they're doing pretty well. There's some damage, probably by pigeons, but they're already beginning to swell. The bag next to it is growing primulas and polyanthus that I grew from seed, but they got mixed up. I didn't remember what varieties I had, so I had to leave them here and let them flower, and then I'll be replanting them in the edible forest part of the garden. This last bed over here is growing carrots, and this one is double raised. I put 2 frames on top of each other because I'm hoping that it will protect the plants from carrot fly. Carrot fly flies low, under 40 centimeters, that's what I read, and the bed is just 40 centimeters tall, so I hope that will help to protect them. There are 2 varieties. They were also being eaten by slugs, but I put spent coffee grounds between the rows, and that has worked really well. They're beautiful. This was our garden at the end of May, bed by bed. I'll be back later in the season with another tour, so if you want to follow along with our garden, please subscribe. Happy gardening!